Hi, I'm Jason. I'm John Much's brother, and this is vlog number 4.
4.
4.
4.
4.
The fourth one.
What are you killing me? I'm sorry.
Alright, so vlog number 4. This one is going to be about my brothers. So I'm going to start with Josh. So Josh is really the opposite of me in a lot of senses, because he is into theater, he's into tennis, he's into a bunch of different things that weren't me when I was growing up. It was all football all the time, baseball. So originally I made fun of him for being in theater because, you know, I was a football player, so that's what we do, which is a terrible way of being, but it's unfortunately true. But all Hollywood actors and, you know, all those rich people in Hollywood all started in theater in high school. So he'll get there. Overall, Josh is just a lot more emotionally intelligent, I guess you can say. He's a lot more receptive of feelings that other people are having and things like that. If somebody's feeling down, he can really like sense it and help them, you know, build back up, to whereas I'm less of a help in that aspect. Just genuinely, he's a fantastic human being. And he's really grown up a lot from a couple years ago. So I'm not going to talk a lot about Josh, but what I am going to talk a lot about is Jason. And he's my middle brother. I was born in 1994. Jason was born in 1996. And Josh was born in 2000. Jason, my middle brother, has Asperger's, which is on the autism spectrum. And it was tough growing up with Jason, who's only 2 years younger than me. But in reality, he's still a kid. With Jason, a lot of the problems he had were in school. So he would get picked on every day. You know, he would come home crying, and it was just, it's heart-wrenching to know that I could have beat the crap out of everybody at the school, but he still would have got picked on. Which is just unfortunate, but, you know, kids are just mean. Kids are mean. It's the truth. I truly can't imagine what he went through on a daily basis, because a lot of the times he would come home and just say, you know, why don't they like me? I don't understand. And it's extremely difficult to hear that, because he was such a good kid. His heart was always in the right place. He was always genuine. He just lacks social cues and things like that. So what Asperger's does to Jason is, when you're in a public situation or something like that, he tends to be very direct and upfront. He doesn't pull any punches. If he doesn't like something that you're wearing or something about you, he's going to tell you. So with the social cues thing, he would just walk into a room and just start yelling and just had to get his story out. And he still does this. He's getting a lot better at it, but he just has to say what he has to say, and he has to say it right now. But it was like what he was saying was of vital importance, and what we were saying had no relevance whatsoever, and it didn't matter. He needed to get what he needed to say out. immediately. Or there's different things that he doesn't quite understand that we just accept that's normal in society. So, for instance, we went to Lake Compounds as a family when we were kids, and which is a Lake Compounds is a theme park in Connecticut in Bristol, and you go there and they have roller coasters in the water park and all kinds of fun stuff for kids. So we would go there, and when you walk into the park, you can buy like a regular ticket, or you can buy a ticket with a fast pass, which is like you skip the line type of scenario. I'm sure everybody's familiar with it. You can just buy your way in front of the line if you have the fast pass, essentially. So what he didn't understand was why people were cutting us in line, even though they weren't waiting in line, and he just couldn't wrap his head around it. He couldn't get over it. So those are the type of things that he'll get really upset about and get aggravated with. Another thing that Jason really had a hard time comprehending, and it's not as prevalent in society as it was when back a couple years ago, was sagging your pants. So when Jason would see people sagging their pants, he would just tell them to pull their pants up. He would be very genuinely concerned that their pants were down below their ass. And he would just walk up to people and say, hey, you got to pull your pants up because your pants are below your butt. And that was another tough thing that I had to, explain to him. It's, Jason, because fashion, because that's what people want to do. What I did for this vlog is I actually interviewed Jason and Josh to ask them a couple questions about Jason's Asperger's. So I'll put Josh's on first. All right, so Josh, what would you say it was like having a brother, growing up with a brother with autism?
It was definitely difficult, different than other families. When we were younger, we weren't allowed to have as much people over.
Yeah.
It was definitely, especially being the youngest one, it was kind of difficult for me, having to understand who my older brother was, and the fact that sometimes I have to be a little older and more mature than he was. So it was definitely difficult.
And me being the eldest, it was definitely more difficult. Because not only did I have to understand, but I had to try to help you
understand.
Understand.
Well, yeah.
So what have you learned having a brother with autism that you wouldn't have necessarily learned if you had a quote-unquote normal brother?
I think having a brother with autism helps understand people more, and I'm able to, be in school and notice, more and more people and their problems instead of, bullying people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really been, it's honestly helpful in a funny way. It's helpful for me and other kids with the fact that I'm able to help them because I know.
Because you can help them understand too.
Just like I've helped Jason, so it's really, I definitely would be a total different person if it wasn't for him. I could see myself being a total different person.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So if you could go back in time and talk to a younger version of yourself that was a little bit less understanding, a little bit further behind from where you are now, or you could speak to someone that's going through a similar situation that's on the younger side that has, a sibling that's also special needs, what would you say to them?
Just, it'll be easier. It'll get less difficult. It is obviously hard. It's nothing it's not a walk in the park, but it'll be less difficult. You'll learn to, when you get older, you'll learn to understand and, be more accepting of who he is. And I guess that's really a big thing, is just to be accepting. Because when I was younger, I was like, I would be like, why the hell does he have to be like that, and why can't he just be? But you just gotta be more accepting.
More understanding.
Yeah, more understanding, and just aware that that's who he is, and that you can't do anything to change it. There's nothing you can do that's gonna make him any different. You just gotta accept and understand that that's who he is and who he always will be.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. All right, so Josh.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say, anything at all, to the people watching my vlog?
Find better time. Find a better way to waste your time than watching it. No.
Solid. That's a good piece of advice.
Definitely be more, just be open to who people are and just look at them differently. Be accepting. Just be careful of what you say to some people.
All right. Give me a hug. Thanks, dude. Okay, so Josh is, as you can see, he's a really smart, intelligent, down-to-earth kid. All right, so then I actually filmed this last night because Jason wasn't going to be awake when I got out of work today. He goes to bed kind of early. So I filmed this last night, and I knew it was going to be interesting. It took a bunch of different takes to get his attention for long enough to get him to answer the questions that I was asking him. But it's truly a perfect depiction of who he is, who Jason is. It took me almost an hour to film the 4 minutes. With Josh, it took me 8 minutes to film 4 minutes. So it's just absolutely perfect. But anyways, here he is. Check it out. What was it like growing up with autism?
It was tough, but I got bullied a lot, but you get privileges getting a police card that will help you, so they don't assume suspicious behavior if you're doing it and knowing that you're not doing it on purpose. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So what was the hardest thing that you remember specifically?
Getting it, well, I don't know if I was young, but it's kind of like now, how do I word this? Trying to stand up and make it feel what it looks like to get a job, a real work job. I don't know.
So the hardest part is
Yeah.
just being able to look for a job.
Yeah, completely employed, how hard it is, even at my program.
How hard it is to
Be
actually work.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite part about you? What's Jason's favorite part about Jason?
I can be whoever I want to be. Just because I have autism doesn't mean I can't do what other people can't.
What do you have to say to other kids that are going through what you went through as a kid, other kids with autism?
Just stay strong. Just don't listen to other bad people that are bullying you or anything. Just worry about you, and it'll all turn out in the end. As long as you do what you do, and stay strong, you'll be fine.
If you could talk to a younger Jason, so if you could travel back in time and talk to yourself, what would you say to him?
I would say, I don't know. I would say make better decisions, I guess, than I was before.
As far as what?
Bad decisions. I mean, make better decisions that were bad decisions originally.
So make better bad decisions?
No, make bad decisions to make them better, to make them gooder.
Oh, so do things you didn't want to do to make things better?
Well, yeah, I meant more the things you got in trouble for to make better. Don't do that. Don't get in trouble at all.
Oh, okay. So listen the first time.
Yeah.
And don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
That'd be your advice to talk to yourself. All right. Is there anything else you have to say?
No, not really.
Not really?
I can't think of anything.
Can't think of anything?
No.
All right, thanks, Jason. I know you're a real busy guy, taking time out of your day to do this.
Yeah.
Or your night. But give me a hug.
Thanks.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too.
All right, so Jason had some very intelligent, intellectual things that he had to say, which was incredible. A lot of the time I was silent right after asking him a question and him giving me an answer because I was just baffled at what he had to say. And it's really crazy to really get an insight into his mind and how he can articulate into words how he's feeling and how he felt about, going through school with Asperger's and things like that. Jason having Asperger's, for me, has made me a lot more tolerant of, people. Sometimes you go into a public place and people are just screaming for no reason, and you look over and it's obvious that the person has special needs, and it's no big deal, to where some people would walk in and be like disgusted by it. Or when they come up to you in a personal space and they'll like come up to you and start touching you and bump you or something like that, which is totally fine. And that wouldn't have been, I would have been much more close-minded and had a different feeling towards everything if I didn't have Jason. So that's one thing that having him be my brother and growing up with it and becoming more understanding really helped me with. Another thing that having Jason did for me was it made me grow up a lot faster than I think I would have if I didn't have Jason. I had to be more mature because I had to be able to comprehend what was happening and why he was the way he was. Overall, it was tough growing up with Jason for me and Josh. Like, for instance, when we would be out in public and he would throw a temper tantrum because my parents didn't get him a game or something like that. And it would be super embarrassing. And Josh would come up to me sometimes when he was really, really young and be like, John, why can't he just be normal? And I thought that too sometimes. But I wouldn't trade it for the world, looking back. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I am who I am today because of Jason. All in all, me and my brothers are glad we got to grow up with autism, each in our own way. And we're better people for it today. I want to thank them for helping me with this vlog. I couldn't have done it without them, literally. And I just want to say I love them both to the moon and back. They've helped me become the person that I am today. And I'm super, super grateful for it. And I just want to say I'm super proud of both of them for making strides as people. It's been amazing to watch from afar. And I really appreciate them. Keep up the good work, guys.